So welcome back to the Rod Shop channel with Saxy Rod Shop. So what we're going to be covering on this video is the assembly of the chassis. We got, like I said earlier in one of the other videos, we got all the components back from powder coating. So Brandon has got everything laid out. He's got the rear end mocked up. We're running all the threads with tap and dies, getting all the right, but we had all the bolts black oxide coated, so everything's going to be black on the chassis. You can see he's got his individual components laid out in each area. He's currently mocking up and doing some assembly on the front end components. So that's kind of where we are, and we'll bring you along on this adventure also. Thank you. So here you can see the chassis. So this is the Art Morrison Chassis for the Torino. Now we actually had this chassis custom built to our design because the 70 model Torino was a unibody car, and at the time Art Morrison did not have any specs for a 70 chassis. So we sent them all of our dimensions and information and stuff that we wanted, and they built this chassis. You can see here that now that Anthony's got the rack painted, so we've got that installed. Brandon's got that installed. He's got all the suspension components assembled. It's got these really badass Strange Engineering coilover shocks, the big Willwood front disc brakes, and we also got some big Willwoods on the rear. And you can see here this is some of the fuel lines and stuff. These are all stainless steel, custom built stuff that we've done in-house, the brake lines on it. He started assembling some of the brake lines, getting them back on the chassis. They're going to look really sharp here on this powder coated chassis. Some of the little detail things that we've done. So when we ordered the chassis, these pass-throughs right here don't come on the chassis. That's just not standard for Art Morrison. So those are just some of our details that we've actually done to run our lines through there. We got one on that side over there. We have a couple here. So we'll actually have some lines that'll come through here, come through, tie all this together. Some of our larger half-inch fuel line here is stainless. And then back here at the back, you can see where he's already got the stainless steel, custom ordered stainless steel tank. This is a Rick's out of El Paso, Texas, Rick's tanks. They make unbelievable quality tanks. And this is a dual fuel pump system that we're running here for the ProCharge Coyote. So it's got the dual fuel pumps in it. Stainless steel tank made by Rick's. And this tank is actually all serviceable. So we can service all of this through the trunk if needed, but the tank will come out by the fact that we have all of our mounts that are bolted on. So that's kind of where we are on the assembly of the Torino. More progress each day as the time goes, and we'll keep you up to date and posted with us. A quick update on the chassis. Brandon's got pretty much all of it assembled. He has got since we looked at it last, the exhaust is just kind of clamped in place loosely. It won't get the final tightening down until the body is on it, just so we can get to some of the mounts that have to be done. We got that done. We're probably going to do some exhaust wrapping right here along the frame rail, thinking about that. But that's kind of where the chassis is at the moment. And then we've got the motor out. This is what's going in the car. So Gen 3 Coyote. We've done the oil pump gear swap. We've converted the fuel injectors over to a set of injector Dynamics brand injectors. Upgraded those. It's got the big ProCharger system on it. It's got the power steering on it, and we've added this PSC power steering reservoir on here. These are a really nice badass reservoir, and Brandon's working on doing some final assembly. He's been marking all of his bolts that he's had off, so that everything's done and tight. So this is the actual motor that's going in it, along with the Tremec 6-speed transmission assembly is going in and all that. So that's kind of where we are on that at the moment. we're going to give you a little update on the Torino. So you've seen earlier that we got it painted. Anthony's got it all sanded and buffed with the 3 different grits that he uses. And so this morning we mated the chassis and the body together. This one we had to do old school manual by hand because we have approximately 1/8 of an inch clearance between the rockers and the frame rail. And there's no way to use a lift to set the body down over the frame. So we had to actually hold the body up and then bring the chassis up to it with floor jacks. So we got all that done. You can see here now that we got the chassis all assembled, the nice detail on it and assembly, how clean and smooth the firewall is. And one of the reasons that we had to get the body on the chassis is the motor has to go in after the body's on because of these kickouts right here. The valve covers on the Gen 3 Coyote actually set in this area, and we can't get the body down over it. So now we can stab the body or the engine down in there. So we got that done. You can see the detail black on it. We went ahead and put the epoxy primer throughout the inside of the car. And we did a final fit on the fiberglass headliner before we took the body off the rotisserie. So currently what Brandon's going to start doing is finalizing the lineup of the body and start doing an underneath assembly. There are some things that physically attach to the body that he has to install now that we couldn't put on the chassis. So we've got that done. You can see some of the detail. He'll give you a little nice detail of the drip rails that we did, how clean and smooth the door jambs are. This car's getting flush mounted glass, windshield and back glass. So we modified the opening and you can really see the detail on that now. And then it also has the rear window shades that go on it. So that's kind of where we are on the Torino. We'll be videoing assembly as this, some time-lapse stuff as we're going. Get that done, and then this thing will be sitting on the ground here on its own wheels and tires probably in 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a little longer. That's kind of where we are on the Torino. Anything else we need to talk about today? This is it, I think, on this one. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for following along on the Torino build, and please stay with us. Like I said, we're going to do a full build of this video, all the assembly, getting it running, the wiring, or getting the wiring done, the running, all this stuff that goes on behind the dash. We'll do time lapse of all that so you can see how much stuff is physically on this car. This car's been in the works for quite a while, uninterrupted, unstopped, so we're at that point. Anyway, that's it for this week. Sure would like to thank you for joining our channel, the Rod Shop channel. And if you haven't, click on the subscribe button, the little bell, so you'll get the notifications. And then also tell your friends. And don't forget to send us some questions if you have any questions. Anything about the Torino build, anything that you've seen on any of our other videos, or if you just have questions on something you're working on for a personal project, we'll be more than happy to help you with any of that. So anyway, cruise safely. If you're here local, watch the weather this weekend. We're having some storms come in. If not, have a good weekend. We'll talk to you later.